Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Dragalia Lost, and today we're going to be taking a look at the new Void boss, Void Agni. The topics are on the screen for you guys. We're going to start with prep, then Agni's moveset, and end things off with some raw gameplay. Now, if you guys have anything else to add on, then I would appreciate it if you guys share those ideas with the rest of us down in the comments below. Anyways, without further ado, let's get started. Alright, first things first, let's go over some details about Agni. Agni is a fire boss, so that means the optimal units to use are water elemental units. That's pretty obvious, right? It is also recommended that your unit has stun resistance. Now, this isn't required, but it's definitely recommended if you want an easier time fighting him. His attacks has a 75% chance to stun, therefore your unit does not need the full 100% stun res. So if you're using a promoted 3-star, their stun res maxes at 50%, so you might want to consider giving them a max unbounded saintly delivery or trove of knowledge wormprint for that remaining 25% stun res. Now, if you're planning on fighting him with a unit without stun res, just keep in mind that he does have one non-avoidable attack that has a chance to inflict stun. Agni starts the match with two passive abilities. One of them is this permanent aura around him called Scorching Air. Any unit that is within the aura will take damage every second, and there's no way to avoid the damage. The only way to nullify the damage is by equipping your unit with a void weapon that has the passive skill called Scorching Air Resist. There's only 4 weapons with that passive. There's the sword, katana, dagger, and staff. Agni's second passive is Skill Resistance, which reduces damage from skills. Just like the first passive, Skill Resistance can be nullified as well by equipping your unit with a void weapon that has Skill Resist Penetrator. There's only 4 weapons with this passive as well. There's the sword, axe, lance, and bow. Now listen carefully, if you're using a melee unit, give them a weapon with Scorching Air Resist. Meleeers are going to be right next to Agni hacking away, so those guys will be within Agni's aura for the whole duration of the fight. They need that Scorching Air Resist passive in order to stay alive. Then for the range units, they are going to be attacking from the outside of the aura, therefore they don't really need Scorching Air Resist. Instead, it's better to give them a weapon with Skill Resist Penetrator. That's about it for the prep segment. I'm not going to go over which characters to use because a lot of them are viable as long as they are water and have the optimal void weapons available to them. I will say that Xander is probably the best DPSer for this fight. He just breaks Agni so fast, it's incredibly easy to clear with Xander. As for healers, I think the best healers for this fight are Verica, Valentine's Hildegard, and Ricard is decent as well. Any of those 3 do amazing work. Alright, so now let's move on to his moveset. When Agni is not in overdrive, he does the exact same 7 moves over and over again until you put him in overdrive mode. He starts out by shooting fireballs in front of him, followed by a dash attack, and then into a claw swipe. Those 3 moves are pretty easy to avoid. I'd recommend trying to stay behind Agni the entire fight as a melee DPSer. After those 3 attacks, he does another claw swipe, except that this one has a red circle and it leaves a puddle of lava on the ground that will damage you if you stay on top of it. This is followed by a lava eruption type move. A big red circle appears underneath Agni, and there's a few other smaller circles around him as well. If you are playing a melee DPSer, all you have to do is iframe this attack by using a skill. Also, I want to mention that if you are playing melee, I would recommend just saving your 2 skills for iframing only. I don't really see a point in using them for damage because Agni has skill resistance, which reduces skill damage, and melees are required to use Scorching Air Resist weapons. But anyways, after this red circle lava attack, he does a move called Heat Seeker. This is the non-avoidable move that inflicts stun. A big purple circle will appear underneath each member of your team. What you want to do is split up and not be too close to your teammates. If you're too close to somebody, then you'll end up taking more damage. Now, I don't know how much damage this move actually does, but I've survived plenty of times while stacked upon 2 of my allies, so I don't think you have to take this move that seriously if you have heavily invested units. But for new players, I would recommend splitting up to avoid taking additional damage just to be safe. The 7th move in the sequence is Devastation. Agni will shoot these lava blades from his arms. I believe he targets the player that's farthest away from him, so ranged DPSers and staff users will have to watch out for this move. All you have to do for this attack is dodge it at the very last second. Later on, I don't know when, I think it's either when you put him in overdrive or after the break. This move will get upgraded to Flames of Devastation. He'll shoot out 3 lava blades instead of 2, and they also leave lava on the ground. So after Devastation is when the attack pattern starts all over again. It's the same 7 attacks in order, except that this time, his 6th attack, Heat Seeker, will be replaced by Flame Nados. 4 purple donuts appear around him. You can avoid this attack by standing in the center of the purple donut or by standing in that small safe area near Agni. When you finally put Agni in overdrive, he'll immediately do a move called Heavy Eruption. A bunch of red circles will appear and also one purple circle that randomly appears underneath one player on your team. The red circles can be iframed, however the purple circle one cannot, and it will follow a player until it explodes. If the purple circle is following you, just make sure you aren't next to any of your teammates and dodge it at the very last second. Also keep in mind that you want this purple circle to explode near Agni because it forms this volcanic rock that is used to block the next attack. And just like Devastation, Heavy Eruption also gets an upgrade later on after a break. The upgrade version has 2 purple circles instead of 1. After Heavy Eruption is Coronal Ignition. This is sort of like what High Brunhilde does. It's a huge AoE attack that can only be avoided by hiding behind the volcanic rocks that were formed from the previous attack. I actually barely get to see this move at all. If you're a Xander player, you can literally just spam Force Strikes while he's doing this move and he'll break every single time. And that's all the moves that Agni does. Now I'm gonna leave you guys with some raw gameplay that I've recorded just to show you guys how I did it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments down below. This Void battle is honestly not that difficult. I do think Zephyr is slightly more challenging, but not by much, but it is slightly more difficult because Zephyr's battle actually makes me move around a lot. Agni's fight, however, I literally feel like I'm attacking from the same spot for 90% of the duration of the fight. But yeah, if any of you guys are having trouble, then you can join my Discord and I'm sure somebody would gladly help you, whether it be me or somebody else. And as always guys, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed the rest of the gameplay, and I'll see you guys in the next one.